It is my great pleasure to introduce to you the creators of the La Familia es Familia campaign, a comprehensive public education effort designed to create strong allies with Hispanic communities across the country. Please welcome OutGivers Ingrid Duran and Pino.
I grew up the child of Latino activists in the Chicano movement in East LA in the 60s, attending farm worker rallies with Latino icons like Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta. Giving back and never forgetting where I came from was ingrained in my DNA.
I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in a working class, conservative, and very, very Catholic family. I was raised by a single mom who instilled the value of hard work and giving back. We didn't have a lot of money, but my philanthropy began at a very young age, mostly by giving through the Catholic Church, and then numerous volunteer efforts during my childhood. In fact, my mom always said that my full-time job should be saving the world.
Our journey together began in 2004. It was a life-changing year for us. I was the CEO of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute, and Catherine was my board member. We caused quite the scandal in the Latino community. You can imagine the whispers and shockwaves that flew through the Latino and LGBT communities in DC.
And quite a scandal it was, but I knew Ingrid was the one. She and I shared similar passions, similar interests, and that year I asked her to come on a journey with me to change the world. We left the organizations we were working in philanthropy and the nonprofit world to start our own venture, a boutique lobbying and public affairs firm called D&P Creative Strategies, and our tagline is consulting with a social conscience.
We had no money, no contracts, no staff, and people thought we were crazy. On top of that, we decided that we were going to be out in every aspect of our world, including our business. And when we told people, many were skeptical, and many told us that we wouldn't make it and that corporations wouldn't want to do business with us. And we said, well, if they don't want to do business with us because we're gay, then we don't want to do business with them.
So we decided that our business would be a conduit to give back to the two communities we care about most and to build a bridge between the two. Ingrid and I both had a history of individual and organized philanthropy and volunteerism, so when we created our company, we knew that our mission would be to direct millions of dollars to both the Latino and LGBT communities.
Our philanthropy extends far beyond our business. Together, we serve on multiple LGBT and Latino boards. In keeping with our theme of giving back, we decided that volunteerism should have a prominent place in our world.
Our personal giving also includes political giving, and in 2008, when Hillary Clinton dropped out of the presidential race, we really wanted to harness our energy and the energy of thousands of Latinas we met across the country who got involved politically for the very first time. We created a national political action committee called Poder PAC, and all the Latina members of Congress and several Latina celebrities serve as our honorary chairs. The PAC supports Latinas who are running for office and directs resources to help them be viable. Additionally, and on top of that, we donate thousands of dollars every year to elected officials, members of Congress, and candidates. Our giving in this area has evolved over the years. We would typically give because it was important to our business or to our clients, but now we've, of course, added another level of scrutiny to our giving, and that is the, do you support LGBT equality, and specifically our right to marry?
Another area that we were really interested in getting involved in when we started our business was media. We knew instinctively that through media, we could affect social change in a much broader way. Our first foray into film was through our dear friend, Eva Longoria. She called us up one morning and said, hey guys, I'm working on this film called The Harvest about the plight of migrant farm worker children, and I'm the executive producer and I want you to help me raise money. We said, of course, and we also want to do a political strategy around the film. That was our first official film credit as associate producers. In 2010, after the documentary The Blacklist aired on HBO, we connected with the producers and told them we wanted to do the Latino list and partner with them. We saw this as an opportunity to change hearts and minds and the discourse about the Latino community in America, especially since SB 1070 had just been introduced in Arizona, and the vitriol in the media about the Latino community was horrendous. We aired 2 volumes of the Latino List on HBO in 2010 and 2011. Once again, we are airing another film to change hearts and minds, and it's called The LGBT Out List. It'll air on June 27th on HBO, and we hope to bring LGBT stories to light.
So as you can see, the theme has been bringing the LGBT and Latino communities together. And in 2011, Evan and Freedom to Marry approached us with a study that had been funded by Arcus and Gill that really flipped the stereotypes of Latinos and their attitudes toward the LGBT community on its head. There had always been a lot of speculation when Prop 8 in California was defeated that it was because of the Latino community. But we knew that just wasn't necessarily true. Resources had not been invested in this community and relationships had not been built. And when things went south, it was easy to place blame. Evan and Freedom to Marry felt the same way we did, and they were very willing to put their own operating resources on the table to start the conversation.
We co-created the Familia es Familia campaign with Freedom to Marry and launched with over a dozen national Latino organizations as partners. We felt that working through trusted entities, we would have a much greater impact than if we did this as an LGBT effort. This is the first of its kind public education campaign focused on the Latino community and starting a conversation about LGBT issues. We work in 4 key areas: family unity, anti-bullying, discrimination, and marriage. The campaign has been wildly successful, and we now have over 25 partner organizations and a few media partners. Since the launch, 3 of our partner organizations have passed board resolutions in support of marriage equality, and several have requested materials and have held workshops or trainings.
So you see, our philanthropy isn't the traditional check writing vis-a-vis an endowment or a trust yet. Ours comes in many forms, through our work, through our projects, our personal giving, and our board service. Our goal always has been to build relationships between these 2 communities so that together we can conquer the hatred and bigotry that we have shared experience. We know that when we have non-traditional allies like Janet Murguia, the president and CEO of the National Council of La Raza, who spoke at the Supreme Court rally in support of marriage equality, and Ray Carey, the president of the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force, who was one of the very first LGBT leaders to speak out on the need of comprehensive immigration reform, that together we are stronger, and together we can win these battles. Thank you.